Hello everyone, welcome back again to my channel. How are you all doing? Honestly, this case of Nigeria versus the US, I really don't have anything to say. Instead, I've just kind of like put a compilation of videos of people who are obviously defensive, some that are lying, and some that are actually, saying the truth, some that are running, some that are actually kept quiet. Surprisingly, majority of the pastors in Nigeria are quiet at this moment. Some politicians are obviously being defensive, some are lying, and also the video from the pastor and a few other videos of I just pulled this compilation together. You guys should watch, drop your thoughts and opinion, and I shall see you in another video soon, cause this matter is going to be a very long one.
We are tired to be outside performing burial every day, and they expect us to silence. Now it's an order. Nigerian government came out openly and denied there is no massacre, there is no genocide of Christians in Nigeria, and look at it today. Is there any Muslim here? United Nations, I know you're watching me. American Senate, you are watching what I'm doing, I'm saying here. Special advisor to Trump, now, please tell Trump to save our life in Nigeria. They are killing Christians in Nigeria, massacre Christians. If they say they kill Muslims, Muslims are being killed. By who? By Muslims.
The point is, let's forget about genocide. Trump is selfish.
Very well, sir.
Trump is selfish.
Very well, my lord.
He wants Nigeria resources.
Very well, sir.
So, but he just want to use genocide,
yes, sir,
as avenue
very well, sir,
to take over Nigeria's government.
Oh, yes.
As the Lord said, not as man, not as security wise. So the government, they are not supporting any. If he's doing the right thing, why not? But when the controller of heaven and earth said that he's selfish, that is why I told you that voting for Trump is like voting for trouble.
Oh, yes, sir.
All the world leaders, they are going to have the pains. So it's not a matter of genocide or no genocide or this or that. It's just a matter of Trump's selfish end. He wants to make America boom. He wants to give America what he has never done before. So, the Nigerian government, what the gra things, let's just calm down. We'll start a deal process. But this one does not want it to. We want to strike. Can they know Nigeria better than us?
Yes, sir.
So Trump, take it easy. Oh. There are things somebody does and they regret it.
Oh, yes, sir.
I'm saying what Lord has revealed to me. I'm not for anybody. As the Lord speaks. Invading Nigeria, all Africans are in trouble. Don't think that it's Nigeria. Any country in Africa that has the capacity, who have resources, they are in trouble. If they target Nigeria, Africa will be enslaved again. We dare not try it. We dare not allow it to happen.
That is the reason why he took on South Africa before Nigeria. But those Nigeria and South Africa are the two leading African countries. And so for him, we're either a shithole country or a disgraceful country or whatever. Now, I'm going to look at the problems from the human rights perspective, not a diplomat. And my own position is that Mr. Trump has lied to the whole world by alleging Christian genocide in Nigeria. So it's a lie without any evidence to back it up. Now, he said about 3,100 people have been killed, Christians have been killed in Nigeria. It's unfortunate and nobody can support even the killing of a citizen of this country. But when you look at the narrative of Mr. Trump and match it with what is on ground, the killers, be it terrorists, bandits, kidnappers, armed robbers, and so on and so forth, or people we simply call gunmen, do not care about your religion. And many of them care about the ransom.
And I would not appear here as the bishop, the Catholic Bishop of Makurdi Diocese, the capital of Benue State in Nigeria. I am the shepherd of one of the 4 dioceses, Catholic dioceses in Benue. We have others, Anglican, Methodist, and Pentecostals, which sort of the Benue State has a population of about 6.1 million people, 2 million of whom are those under my care as the bishop of the diocese. Benue State is about 98% Christian, with very few Muslims living in towns. Nigeria and eventually my diocese and the state of Benue have become, in recent years, one of the most dangerous and insecure places for Christians. Christians and Muslims are nearly evenly divided among Nigeria's large population of over 200 million persons. Islamist extremists are fiercely contesting the possession, control, and governing law of the land, especially in the country's northern and central regions, the latter of which is where Benue is located. There are constant ethnic, political, and religious conflicts over land and allegiance. Constitutionally, we are a secular country, but our unity has been fragile. Political and religious actions and even public speech have been carefully managed to avoid accusations of religious bias and political tensions. Today, the clear influence of Islamist extremists has changed the traditional social dynamics of tribe, ethnicity, religion, and the social status in Nigeria. Because just recently, at the beginning of the Ramadan fast, 12 states in northern Nigeria have declared closed schools so that they attend to this. And you can imagine which other country in the world does that. Saudi Arabia is not doing it. Afghanistan is not doing it. Baghdad is not doing it, but then Nigeria is practicing. What kind of Islam are they practicing? 12 states, and not only Muslims are living in these places. What happens with the educational program or curriculum of the country? But this is what we are going through every day in Nigeria. A long-term Islamic agenda to homogenize the population has been implemented over several presidencies through a strategy to reduce and eventually eliminate the Christian identity of half of the population. This strategy includes both violent and non-violent actions, such as the exclusion of Christians from positions of power and adoption of such church members, the raping of women, the killing and exploitation of Christians, the destruction of churches and farmlands of Christian farmers, followed by the occupation of such lands by the Fulani herders, and also changing the names of these villages. They are taking over the places, so you clearly see an expansionist approach and Islamic, and then they are making the people now flee and leave their villages, and they conquer it. The quest to Islamize the land appears high on the agenda of some of the powerful and influential Muslims in Nigeria. There is a campaign to take land to spread Islam, and there is the hemorrhaging of Christian farmers from the central region of Nigeria and Benue State, and Makurdi Diocese in particular, as they are forced to abandon fertile lands that used to feed the nation, which classify Benue as the food basket of the nation. Militant Fulani herdsmen are terrorists destroying society. They steal and vandalize, they kill and boast about it. They kidnap and rape, and they enjoy total impunity from the elected authorities. None of them have been arrested and brought to justice. This is supported by the corrupt system in which we operate and the abject poverty among us, which allow the criminal to easily attract more recruits and prey on more victims. Why is this happening? Is it really a religious war? Like in the past, many jihadists are motivated less by religion than by spoils of war and use their religion to impose themselves. In my diocese, the spoils consist mainly of fertile, well-tended land organized around my parishes or so. The jihadists come and adopt and kill the priests, leaving thousands without support and basic human services. And of course, when they disperse the people, the inhabitants, or the citizens, or the people of the lands, they take over. And any attempt to go back and take care of your farms, surely you get killed. The Makurdi Diocese in Benue State has been the epicenter of the invasion by these herders, who are more like hired guns of cattle oligarchies, who manipulate religion to rally the herders to eliminate the Christian population and cleanse the land in the name of Islam. This objective is behind the relentless attacks against Benue's villages. When we call for help to the police and the army, they do not come. At the end of 2024, several villages were warned by the attackers of the upcoming violence, and the leaders called the police for defense ahead of time. But they did not come, and the Christian massacres, almost customary, took place, killing hundreds in Plateau and Benue, with the worst massacre claiming 47 people. The militant also burned down the 8 Catholic churches of St. Mary's Parish in the Diocese of Boko, which in Benue State, as well as the parish house, clinics, schools, and other houses. The militant Fulani herdsmen bear on defenseless villagers without consequences. They follow orders to conquer, kill, and occupy. They attack even those who have managed to escape into our IDP camps. Thereby, they have no place to run to. And it is unfortunate that the police system in Nigeria, orders have to come from above. And such that once there's a call, and they say they have never responded. And by the time they arrive, these people have left, and the people are now living in the pool of their blood. What I have recounted above is happening not only in Benue State. I believe our experience in Benue is symptomatic of what is happening elsewhere in large parts of Nigeria. The experience of the Nigerian Christians today can be summed up as that of a church under Islamist extermination. It is frightening to live there. Apart from the violent campaigns and attacks against Christian villages, there are now attempts by the Islamic Council of Nigeria and various Islamic groups to impose Sharia law on the Christian populations. Already, 12 states in the north of Nigeria are under this sectarian religious law, and attempts to extend the same to the south of Nigeria, which they have started. This month, governors in the north decided abruptly to close all schools and education institutions during the months of Ramadan, leaving millions of students without learning opportunity for 5 weeks. We live in fear because at any point it can be our turn to be killed, but to remain silent is to die twice. So, I have chosen to speak. I speak on behalf of the millions who are in the camps. In Benue State, in Makurdi Diocese alone, in my diocese, I have about 9 camps. 9. On the 5th of March, which was Ash Wednesday, we visited one of the camps, and many of my priests and religious went to the other camps, distributed them to begin the Ash Wednesday with our faithful who are there, because we are the voice of the voiceless. We have to talk for the defenseless. We have to talk about the weak and those who cannot talk about themselves. In one of the camps called the Mega Camp, there were over 3,000 inmates of that camp, and which was a record given to us by government. I speak on behalf of them and those children who have no husband, who have no father, and even their own voices taken away by the politicians who promised to help them, but have become the willing tools of the jihadists because they are talking politically correct statements, looking for next elections to come. I speak on behalf of those whose loved ones have been killed, but no one has even offered a word of consolation to them. I speak on behalf of the thousands of young girls who have been adopted and raped because no one, not even the media, mentions them anymore. Foremost, I speak on behalf of my flock who are unable to worship freely and unable to return to their ancestral farms and homes because that land has been ruthlessly taken from them by the armed herdsmen. And where they say they want to live in peace with the natives, if you must farm, you have to pay tax to hire the land which belongs to you. That is slavery, to say the least about it. As prosperous Nigeria is in the African continent. And I tell you, if there's outbreak of war in Nigeria, no country around us, Chad, Niger, Ghana, Guinea, Togo, no country can contain the population that will flee to these places. No country can be able to house over 5 million refugees. It's not possible because of that. And if 1 million refugees run to Chad and Niger, they'll collapse that country because there'll be no plan to take care of them. So we have to be very careful. Today, I urge you all to use every means within your mandate to start developing a strong and good relationship with Nigeria, where you know that when you speak of human dignity, you are also speaking of the same God-given right you believe is unalienable. Consider that Nigeria can be your ally, but it cannot be one where half the population is in the process of being murderously eliminated. Work with us, the churches, and other Nigerians of goodwill. We are working for a peaceful and prosperous society.
Donald Trump. Why is Donald Trump process in Nigeria go? What is his business? Will he be the one to decide for us? Is Nigeria America?
There's a lot of distortion going on. People claiming that there is no genocide of Christians in the nation. Information with facts can never be thwarted. You see people buried in hundreds and you say there is no genocide. What a wicked set of people. Agreed, there are people killed in other places for other reasons. But this one is very clear. And gradually is eating down to the south, southwest, southeast, and many so-called leaders for their personal interests are claiming it's not true. Selling out their faith if they have it at all. Jesus said, when I come, will I find the faith? And we are standing here to say to Jesus, the faith will keep standing. Raise your voice in a few seconds. Father, strengthen the brethren. Strengthen the faith.
We don't want to push them into that terror beyond what they are doing now, because yes, it can get worse. They have shown us their willingness to negotiate. So people that are ready to negotiate, why are you rushing to just declare them bandits so that you can use whatever weapons you bought? Before, they used to catch Boko Haram and present them to the authorities in Zamfara. But now if they're all terrorists. Secondly, the only door that remains, that is we clergy, to go in and negotiate with them, is closed now permanently.
The best thing now is for Nigeria to warn the president of America and tell him to retract his threats, because it's a direct threat, even ordering the Pentagon to be ready to attack Nigeria for what? Nigeria should, the president should retract such, or else we sever our relationship with America. There are a lot of Christians who have known that the narrative is wrong. It's a representation of reality on ground. Many Christians know that. So Nigeria should reciprocate whatever the tune of Trump's allegations are, because he did it not in a diplomatic way.
Come and see pictures of genocides, including small children. Very soon I will make a press release. I will present how small children are among those that are killed. I will present the recent killings that Nigerian government don't want the world to know. They are saying that I am opposing my own government, exposing them. Okay, are they not exposing us to Fulani terrorists by refusing to come to our aid when we cry out? It's exposing us. Let them continue killing us. Then they turn their face as if nothing is happening. They come out Reno Cree, or what is that his name? He came out and said there is no genocide like that in Nigeria. That man, I've cursed him already. He will never know peace down to the grave. The blood of people that have entered my brain, I transfer them, my head, to his life. He will not escape. I want all Nigerians to know the man will never escape. He has been doing devious life to different government. This time around, he has crossed his line. If I exist without seeing God crushing that man, then I'm a bastard. Because the blood of people that are being killed in the north, for him coming out, he has crossed the line. He's finished. The only hope for him that he will buy my heart. Let him repent. Let him repent. If Reno or Mokari will repent, and those kind of officials that came out and denied there's no genocide, if they don't repent, oh no.
America cannot have military bases all over Africa, and they cannot stop terrorism. Then what is the essence of it? They should mobilize brute force against these terrorists. Brute force, that's what they require. And exterminate them. Go to the heart of these terrorists and deal with them. They will scatter. They won't even have the energy to regroup. That is what they should be doing. If not, their military basis is useless to us. Yes, it's useless.
Well, again, some quarters would truly say that at this point, America being vocal when it comes to security situations in Sudan and, of course, some other parts of Africa is laced under the guises of the fact that natural resources are involved. You were also here a couple of days ago when Sheikh Gumi also made mention of that. Barrister, you think the consistent call from the White House when it comes to battling with insecurity in Africa is laced with concerns about taking the natural resources of Africa?
It's a lie. It's a lie. Not in all cases. Like in a case whereby you invited them to help you, of course. But where they willingly, on their own, decide to help you, they are not coming for your natural resources. So serious, because they know that if they sit back and allow another Rwanda to happen, it will affect the whole world. Maybe that it will cost them more to stop it. That is why most times they on their own decide to help you, because they have seen that you cannot help yourself. But when you invite them to come and help you, of course, maybe you pay for logistics and all that. In this case now, America is not asking you to give them this or that before they can come in. They are coming because they know that what is happening may cause a big problem if not addressed immediately. Yes, that is the way they see it.
Without any underlined mineral deal?
What mineral deal, for God's sake? Because this propaganda is what destroy a good cause.
It's interesting you call it propaganda, Barrister, because some quarters in government, I'm talking Nigeria now, has said that one of the reasons why Trump is clearly talking about invading Nigeria is because they believe that he funded Kamala Harris with the French government. Does it sound any way true in any way?
Oh my God. Look, these things does not add up. Whatever they say, is that the reality on ground? David, is there a killing in Nigeria against Christians mostly? The answer is yes. And somebody is frowning at it. It's like saying, one of the reasons why the Allied forces faced Adolf Hitler during the Second World War is because they want the mineral resources in Germany. Is that how it looked like? They saw what Germany was doing to people, especially the Jews. And they stepped in. And you are telling me everything is mineral resources. Everything mineral resources.
All right then.
It's not like that. Please let us leave propaganda alone.
All right then.
Because that's what it looks like here. Face the reality. If they don't even say or intervene, do you think this thing will stop?
Huge
There is no political will to stop.
Sorry, yo. Sorry,
Clap out for Jesus.
You have to have
Now. What be this? What be this? What be this?
dissolve.
Like I said, we know where these guys are. We know where they live. We know their parents.
You know them as a government.
Of course we do. They live with the same community we live.
So why is it difficult to get them?
That is the $1 million question that I should ask you.
We are trying to understand, for those of us who are not conversant with Zamfara, have never been there, and we hear you as a chief security officer speak tonight to say you know these people, but yet you can't get them. It's a head scratcher.
It is something that we are trying to all put our heads together. And that is why, from what I can do as a governor, to have this CPG as a first line of defense. Of course, military are there, police are there, as well as civil defense, but they're not under my control. They are under the control of federal government, and they're doing their best. And like I said also, our security forces have the ability to crush these guys.
But they are not.
They're trying their best.
You cannot ignore the fact that there is Nigerian government complicity with these attacks. You saw some of our journalists in the documentary. We wanted to be an organization that tells the truth about what's happening in Nigeria, hence truthnigeria.com. I want to just kind of let everybody know and help you understand how Nigerian news works. If a Nigerian government official does not call for a news conference, the event did not exist. So in order for the narrative to get to the mainstream media, get picked up by Al Jazeera, get picked up by CNN, everything else, it comes from a Nigerian government source. From the very beginning, they determine the narrative. The reporters regurgitate the government narrative. We decided to be a voice and try to help change that paradigm, and created Truth Nigeria to document what is actually happening. How many of you guys know that there were 10 Christians killed in Kaduna just the other day? How many of you know that there were 30 Christians killed in Plateau just a week ago? How many of you know that besides the 280 Christians that were killed in Yellowwater on June 13th, we are now about over 500 Christians that have been killed total since Yellowwater? No one knows. The media is not reporting it. Well, that's why we formed Truth Nigeria, to talk about what is going on. But also, what we pointed out in the documentary that I'd like everybody to realize is that Truth Nigeria had information that the attack on Yellowwater was going to occur 3 weeks before the attack happened. Now, when we get a terror alert, we find information, we know attacks are going to occur, our method is we issue a terror alert on our website, truthnigeria.com, but we also immediately call the local authorities. We notify the Nigerian military, the DSS, the Nigerian government, to let them know this is what we found out, this is our intelligence. Now, a day before the attack, we got word that there's movement happening. They are mobilizing, and they are coming for Yellowwater. So the day before, our team notified the government, the local authorities, the army, the police, and said, hey, there's movement, they're coming, watch out. What happened? Absolutely nothing. The government stood by and did nothing, with advance warning multiple times. In fact, there's a military fob with soldiers that was less than a kilometer away while the attacks were going on, shooting warning shots in the air, but did not engage the terrorists as people were being burned to death, hacked to death with machetes, and being slaughtered.
Oh my God, so I'm very excited, very, very excited that President Trump has finally designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern. You see, on Tuesday this week, Tuesday, October 28, 2025, around 11 a.m. Oklahoma time, that's Central Standard Time, United States, I got a call from Jesse Sutherland, the policy advisor to the senior senator from Oklahoma, Senator James Langford. That's one of the signatories to Senator Ted Cruz's bill. The message was just simple and direct. Frank, can you write a reminder to the letter sent to this office to be forwarded to the Department of State? So the Department of State, that is the office of the Secretary of State of the United States, Marco Rubio, was asking for a reminder because they don't want to act so moto. They want to act as a response to a call made by Nigerians. So I wrote that letter immediately and sent to the office of Senator James Langford. That was on Tuesday, October 28, 2025. And today, which is Friday, October 31st, 2025, by 12:29 p.m., Jesse Sunderland, the policy advisor to Senator Langford, called me. And his message was just direct. Hold on, the senator wants to speak with you. And Senator Langford was like, Frank, the president has just designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern. So I want to thank all those Nigerians who have been advocating for this, starting with my bishop, the bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Makurdi, Bishop Anagbe, and all the Reverend Fathers of Benue origin in the United States here, and very particularly to the guys at Equipping the Persecuted, very great man, Judge Saul, who has been there for Nigerian persecuted Christians, the guys at Truth Nigeria, Doug Barton, who himself was a former staff of the State Department, and Mike Arnold, and of course all the senators and the House of Rep members. Trump has officially designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern, which was our call. When Yerwata happened on June 13 and 14, I told myself that Yerwata would be the catalyst for a lot of things to happen to shake the very foundation of Nigeria in the war against terrorism, especially Fulani terrorism and the genocide against Christians in Nigeria. Yerwata served as a catalyst. The killings of 13 and 14. And so I want to say, my kinsmen in their graves, they'll be happy that the world is taking an action over the genocide that has happened. But very importantly, we so much desire this country of particular concern designation because it will change a lot of things. First of all, a lot of people were asking the implications. I've said it in several of my videos. There'll be trade embargo in Nigeria, there'll be arms. They're not doing anything with the arms. They are giving arms to soldiers, and soldiers are just shooting in the sky anytime these Fulani come to kill people. Nigeria have been crying for Tucano all this while. They've given Nigeria the Tucano US, and they've done nothing to stop this. Okay, if you go through Trump's statement very well, he said, I'm hereby designating Nigeria as a country of particular concern. And that is the list of it. Observe that. He said, and that is the list. The list is the designation. The most important thing is what comes on after this designation. These guys have the list of all those guys who are doing this. They will freeze their accounts. They will place a travel ban on them. They will freeze their assets all over the world. They will go after them. And when it is becoming too hard, they will intervene directly themselves, the way they release some stuff to Iran. So the way the Air Force base is just right here where the two B-2 Spirit bombers are. It's just right here. And then they will go after after their transaction, their financial transaction, because most of those guys, they transact with the American dollars and they transact using Visa card and MasterCard, and so it goes to American financial institutions. They have the names of these people. These people are in the federal government of Nigeria, the sponsors of this Fulani Jihad, the genocide in Nigeria. They are in the state government as governors. They are amongst the traditional institutions, from the top echelon of the Islamic traditional institutions in Nigeria to the Emirates, all the emirs. All these chiefs around in Nasarawa State are also involved. So the United States, so every patriotic Nigeria, those of us who call for this designation are the most patriotic Nigeria, because we want a solution. The solution was at hand and the government could not use it for political correctness, still protecting the sponsors of these killings. So right now with this designation, it is a notice to the entire world that genocide of Christians is happening in Nigeria. And other countries in the European Union, the United Kingdom, and Canada will also act. So we are very happy with this designation. And right now, after this designation, we are going to continue following this matter to make sure that the other repercussions are put in place. Sanction of these guys, blocking their accounts everywhere, freezing their assets, naming them, and possibly arresting them in some other countries. So we will not relent. We want to thank everybody involved in this. We want to thank all the priests, the pastors, the religious leaders, the political leaders who were able to be brave enough to call for this. And I'll just tell you that, look, the entirety of this designation did not come so moto by President Trump or Ted Cruz just doing it on their own. It came because of our cries. And the cries continues until when the sponsors of this terrorism and genocide are all arrested and put in prison, and then our people are made to return back to their ancestral land and claim their homes and live in peace and worship in peace. That is the list of what we're saying. So when President Trump is saying this is the list, the designation is just the list, there are a lot of things coming. The sponsors should brave up. They should brace us. There are a lot of things coming. This is just the list according to President Trump. Some of us know the list. And finally, you know, these people will be talking in Nigeria. They thought they are deceiving the United States, but they are deceiving themselves. You find these people say, no, Nigeria, there's nothing like Christian genocide going on. There's peace, there's this, there's that. Look, the United States is the compendium of every intel happening in Nigeria. Everything happening up to your house. Those guys have the information. For goodness sake, you are using their technology. You are using the phone. You are using the SIM card that has the chips. You are using electronic passport, e-passport, satellite imageries. You think those of you, the sponsors, you think you make secret calls by making encrypted calls through WhatsApp? They own the WhatsApp. They own the messenger. If you want to use even satellite phones, they own it. They own this technology. They know all these things. So you begin to deceive yourself that, oh no, this is not happening. They know all these things. I've sat down with many of them. I've heard them inform me about Nigeria to the extent that I never knew Nigeria existed that way. So once again, we want to thank President Trump very well. We want to thank everybody involved in this. Bishop Anagbe of Makurdi Diocese, equipping the persecuted, Judge Saul, Mike Arnold, Doug Barton, Emmanuel Ogebe, my guy Steve Enada in Atlanta, you know, the Igbo veterans in the Nigerian, in the American service, you know, they are known as AVIT, you know, Association of Veterans of Igbo in Diaspora, you know, and many of these other guys. Kudos to all of us, and the fight has just started.
Over 40 years that I have been a Christian, there have been killings in southern Kaduna, killings in on the plateau. There have been riots. Sometimes, I think it was in France, an image of Prophet Muhammad was defaced. Who remembers that? And as a result of that, there were killings of Christians in Nigeria. And so it's nothing new. It doesn't amount to genocide. The way the West are talking about it, it's as if a Christian steps on the street, his head will be blown off. And I'm trying to understand this sudden love for Christians. Is it because we now have one of the largest refineries in the world and no longer have to ship raw materials abroad and bring the finished products? Or is it because of the 21st century minerals that we now have in our earth that are used to generate nuclear power for electric vehicles? Are those the reasons that our friends are threatening to invade our country to defend and protect Nigerian Christians? Selah.
In fact, in 2014, Nigerian opposition party, then the APC, were in the White House seeking for the same help on the same Christian genocide as a fallout of the Chibok girls. This is established. The second thing again is that even most recently, we acquired $346 million worth of weaponry from the US, and we are trying to send our military personnel to go and train as a factor of diplomatic relationship between Nigeria and the US. And US has been consistently, in addition to other partners, listed as supporting countries to help us in eradication of terrorism. And don't forget, it is a United Nations Convention on Counterterrorism that empowers the United States to become the global front or focal point in fighting against terrorism. And wherever a word terrorism was defined in a given area, that means US have right to protect. They call it a responsibility to protect R2P. They have right to invoke that R2P to get into that country and destroy that terrorism. Yeah. So what we should show in our own case in Nigeria is that we should show commitment and willingness to partner to eliminate the threat of terrorism, not completely condemn a hand that is coming to help us and then put a motion forward. We can negotiate with them. We can tell them, give us the weapons responsibly. We can discuss with them and acknowledge that this genocide is taking place. Yes, they say Christian genocide. Now we can justify to them that, look, it's not only genocide, it's not only Christians, Muslims also are affected.
But do you agree with the categorization that it's a genocide?
I actually, when I look at the damages, when you look at the total number of the people that have been killed over time in Nigeria, and they are killed defenseless in villages, sleeping in their homes, then what can you call this, for God's sake?
You think there's a genocide?
I think it's actually pure genocide, because you just come and kill people. Just like that. And this thing has been happening. Several villages in Katsina destroyed. Several villages in Sokoto gone. Several villages in Zamfara every day.
A number of things Christians have suffered in this country can be compared to the crucifixion of the Lord. Do we talk about the takeover of all Christian schools, all mission schools by Nigerian government? They took over those schools, destroyed them, turned our educational institutions into houses of formation of criminals and mediocres. People who can't write simple letters, who can't speak any language correctly, who can't solve their own problems, and won't pass any exam without cheating. And that is like crucifying, because that is a house. The school is a house of formation of character. They have taken the body away. They have removed all signs of his death. Since after the takeover of schools, who has the correct statistics of the number of churches that have been burnt down in this country? Who knows how many Christians have been killed in this country because they are Christians? Some right inside the church. Some will tell you these are criminals. They are not just targeting Christians. Take it easy. How many of those who perpetrate these crimes have been arrested and prosecuted? How many of them are in jail? How many of them have faced the death penalty? The Catholic Church is against the death penalty. I'm talking about Nigerian law. But we know that if anything happens to some of those who perpetrate this crime, either in self-defense or in resistance, the government stands up. There is outrage everywhere in all levels of government. This selective outrage of government, this selective outrage of the police, of the army, of the security agencies, when innocent citizens are massacred and when criminals are repelled and in the repelling they die, this selective outrage is like, it's not only that they have killed him, they have taken the body away. They want to wipe off every trace. And some Christians are being provoked legitimately to react. Anytime any of them reacts, they are said to be taking the laws into their hands. But all those who trample the law with their feet, trample upon the law. They kill, they rape, they maim, they sack farmers, they harvest crops of farmers and feed it to their cattle. And when you say no, why are you doing this? It is death. And when they do that, they record it and post it to government to see. If you ask them question, you are killed. If you chase them away and while running away they die, you'll be condemned to death. This, permit me to say, is pure, sheer provocation. But this is Easter. Christians still have to be told to embrace the path of peace, forgiveness. But in one of the readings yesterday from the book of Exodus, the people were crying to Moses. They were stranded in the desert. The sea was there. And Moses turned to God. What do we do? We are stranded here in the bush, in the desert. What did God tell him? Why are you crying to me? Tell the people to move, and you raise your rod. Raise your staff. We as Nigerians, as Christians, like the Israelites escaping from slavery, must learn to do certain things now differently. We cannot continue in our selfish indifference. We have to bring the values of the gospel into our individual and collective lives. That is the only hope we have for survival. While pleading with those whose responsibility it is to govern and to protect us, today, many of them will go online in television and in their official handles, social media handles, to wish Nigerians, especially Christians, happy Easter. Oga, keep your wish. Don't wish me happy Easter. Protect my life. Don't wish me happy Easter. Do your job. Because this cloud that is gathering, this darkness that is gathering, if it is allowed, to extinguish the light of faith of Christians, this country will be plunged into total darkness. And successive governments that have stood idly by and watching while this is happening should only blame themselves and not any other person if anything like that happens. But today is Easter. Our prayer is that Christians will learn really to live the life of the risen Lord. And that even those who are not Christians, looking at us, should learn that the only hope for the salvation afterlife and even for peace in this world is living out the commandments of Christ, of God, summarized by Christ: loving God and loving your neighbor.
U.S. Army strong. U.S. Army strong. U.S. Army strong. The number one in the world. The greatest thing what happened to me now is I joined the U.S. Army in my 20s. I left Nigeria in my 20s. U.S. Army strong. Grace for the shadow. Grace for the shadow. Nobody fit check on. Nobody fit check on. And I see all my celebrities and some of them, some of them pastors. Now they talk rubbish. Say, number one, make a first start from this place. I thought, say now. USA can't like America. Say now USA can't like America. Say USA don't like America. Number one, go and check fact. I don't say most of them for Nigeria na be mumu. Now why look, I come out there went in my 20s, early 20s, because I don't say most of them be mumu for there. Now what's in the top for man? Now maths na always talk. I thought say USA don't like Nigeria. Say now they just like Nigeria. Say una don't say Nigeria now he get the highest population of Africans for USA, and USA don't like Nigeria. Go and check, because now they check record, now no get sense. All now do now to cruise. We don't know say na cruise Nigeria dey for no sense. Just come cash cruise online, nobody get sense. After 3 days, they don't forget, they don't move on. Anywhere the left is fans, now no get sense. Now one na president, all my leaders, then they chop na head, now no get sense, because they know so most of them no get sense. Now 10 kilo by me when I get. Let it all get happen. All happen, they kill many people, they like say na AI. Say no happen, now no get sense. No brain. I always thank God, say I joined the greatest force, covered by the greatest force. They don't bought anybody papa mama wear up on top of my own lyrical head. Now thought say US no like America, US no like Nigeria. Now Nigeria plenty past America. Go and check your record. I don't just talk like you or who say I don't get sense. I need to do research. Now Nigerians plenty pass for Yankee among all the old Africans, but US don't like Nigerians. But now Nigeria plenty pass. Number two, you're not going to spread the yaya rumor. They see all those buruku portable, all those idiots, Mr. Jollof, all those gay giving you get sense. When they said, all of them don't try to apply for American visa. They don't give that Jollof. The portable don't beg for American visa more than 25 times before they can't give them the 26th time. All those gay, they don't go US embassy, they deny them. They're plenty like that. And at the end of the day, now America, they still can't settle down. They can't big party with their old age. And all the buruku. Now Yankee, they save all of them life. Nobody. But now this same Yankee I thought say no like now. Now this same Yankee that they come. We say all of that they use to last hope. All Nigeria British. If the life don't spoil for Nigeria, now don't fall off. Now Yankee na go come the big party. We are the always talk. Evidence yakpa. I save him. Mr. Jollof don't go US embassy more than 5,000 times. They don't give him visa. Only Buruku. He can't talk to now America like Nigeria. Nigerians now plenty pass for America among the old Africans, and USA don't like Nigeria. Number two, I thought say if USA go any country, say any country where they enter, they always scatter. Now lie, now no get sense. Now they do now research. Now only Brooklyn be most of them. Now why I jack in my 20s? Now I can't join the greatest force, which I'm always happy. Fake army where they he pain them. You understand? He pain them. US Army to gara fake army. And I thought say US Army, then they go anywhere where they go, say that they always make sure say the country no progress again. Now the Lori Buruku. Make account the numbers of country where US Army day, where the country still progress. We have a base in Poland. Poland is still progressing. US Army is in Poland right now as I'm talking. US Army is in Germany. Why their country? Why we not steal their natural resources? They are coming to steal our natural resources. And any country where they go. How can you come from one country and be stealing somebody's natural resources? How is it possible? If any country will steal anybody's natural resources, it's going to be with the permission of their government. Now, no get sense. Now, how long will I go take to move for Nigeria? All politicians don't know say now foolish. Now, no get sense. Now, why they always play on our brain? How can somebody come from another country and enter another man's country and be stealing their natural resources without the approval of that government? How is it possible? It's not possible. So if at all, if any country will even want to steal anybody's natural resources, it's with the permission of Naoga. So it's not possible, which is a lie. Only in Buruni, you now go talk to any country where US go, you know they progress. Libyans are the one that killed Gaddafi themselves. It's not America. America has nothing to do. Show us your evidence. Because you all are entering my DMs. Some people are entering my DMs. This and that. Don't come. Oh. Mr. Trump is not telling, Mr. President is not telling us to go to, they not tell US Army to go to Nigeria. To go kill, it's not to kill anybody. It's for peacekeeping. They are not going to Nigeria to fight innocent soul. What Mr. Trump was talking about, Mr. President is talking about is that they should stop killing of the Christians. And the Christians could be anybody. Because if they come for peacekeeping, it's everybody they will protect. Because nobody said they go right now for anybody else. Say this one a Christian, this one a Muslim. Mr. President don't need any of your natural resources. We have everything in America. That is why all of them they come America. And the country we are fighting for, that's why we stand for America. Because that's the country I'm fighting for. So all of Nigeria British, Nigerian they come. They come, they go party, all them Dr. Seed. All of them, they plenty. Today is not the day where J1, all of them, the day after their career don't crash for Nigeria. Nigeria they come. All of them, in America they come. Why they don't go to another country? But in America won't come to your natural resources, but all of them won't come to America. And I don't say that they're mad. The whole world wants to come to America. The country be defended by the Marines and the US Army. All of them won't come. Thief. But you all will be talking shit about America. And I go talk to America is the one sponsoring all those kidnapping, terrorism in the world. Where's the evidence? Where is your evidence? Why all of them they come America to survive, to come do paper? And you know the Buruku, LSC. We have a base in Poland. Why we not steal the natural resources? We have a base in Germany. We have US Army went to Afghanistan to work with security forces of Afghanistan to fight against Taliban. They didn't go there to fight Afghanistan. They went there to fight Taliban that are fighting Afghanistan. And we left Afghanistan because we spent too much money in Afghanistan. We lost like 1,000 soldiers. Taliban that died, there are over 100,000. Taliban will pay for Afghanistan is over 100,000. Go and check. We only lost 1,000 soldiers or thereabouts. So US Army is the number one. There's nothing like we left. We ran away from Afghanistan. We didn't run. We left Afghanistan because we were there to help their security forces and we are paying too much money. It's not like all those idiot soldiers that doesn't know anything. Like this one that is following, where they follow Portable Talk. We don't know anything about. See as they follow Portable Talk. See person they follow Portable Talk. This one, like Mumu like this. See. See as they follow Portable Talk. No get energy. See soldier. We're supposed to position Portable. We're supposed to basic pay. This one don't know anything about me. You don't know anything about me. Forget in rank. See as they talk. We're supposed to, I don't feel talk before they talk because there is action. Now we don't go behind me. We get action. Anywhere we went, people they fear us. We know the history. USA Army didn't go to Afghanistan to steal their natural resources. We went there to support these Afghanistan security forces to fight the Taliban. And they were able to, to bring down US Army of like 1,000 soldiers thereabout. Taliban were pay for this over 100,000 when we dropped. We left Afghanistan. We didn't run away in Afghanistan. We left there because we spent too much money there. We have all our big planes there. Mobility command, air mobility command, everything we come out for there. All this one don't know anything about army. All our equipment, we even left some because we are wasting money there, over billions of dollars. That was why we left. We didn't run away in Afghanistan. They know. We not in Afghanistan. Taliban we fight Afghanistan. We didn't go there to fight Afghanistanis. We went there to fight Taliban, to help Afghanistan security forces. Any country where you see Americans going there, we are going there to help their security forces to stop ISIS. We are not going there to fight them because you people don't have sense. We are not going to fight any countries. Most people who join me, they don't know anything. They just join me. Most Nigerians who join me, they just join me because of paper. They don't know anything about the army. Now we don't go be army. Now we they represent army. Those ones don't know anything about army. We have base in Germany. We have base in Poland. We have base in Kuwait. Up to now, why we not see the natural resources? We have base in everywhere. Iraq. See, we just left it. Why we not see the natural resources in Iraq? We have base in Jordan. Camp Ajifan for Jordan. Why we not see the natural resources in Jordan? We are always there for peace. We are always, because the whole world, they rely on US Army. They rely on US Marines. So that's why we're always out there to support. We haven't fought war in a very long time. Maybe the last time we fought war, maybe it's the Vietnamese time. We haven't fought war. Any place we go to is for peacekeeping. We are supporting because the whole country depend, not like all those Chinese who they come to America, where they call it suffer. Chinese is good, Chinese is good. They are coming to America to do paper. Have you seen any Americans going to Chinese to do paper? On our mouths. America is the greatest country. So respect Mr. President. We are not going to Nigeria to fight the innocent people. Mr. President is sending the troops there to stop terrorism, to stop genocide, to stop kidnapping. They are not going there to fight Nigeria. All those ones say, all those one more portable, all those Mr. Jalov, they tell those gege, those idiots, those illiterates, those na pastor, those show with all of them. They are going there to support the masses, people that have been taken advantage of. Now we don't go be military, we know the work. We know the work. But it's my journey, so I just make a clear and doubt. US Army strong, fight for the right, and the army is rolling along. And it's the army's on his way. Stand on the kid is not as strong. If it ever go, you will always know that the army is rolling along. God tell their father. Now we don't have the US Army. Nobody all those nonsense that they say, all those Nigerians that they say, we don't know anything about the army. God tell their father, fake army, what?
So the task ahead is immense. We are engaging the world diplomatically, and we assure all of you that we will, defeat terrorism in this country.
Right. From all said and done, those of you who still do not want US president to invade Nigeria, please, as you've watched all of those snippet videos, leave the way forward. Leave your suggestions on how to get all of these issues sorted in Nigeria, because it doesn't mean anything to our Nigerian government, because they've kept quiet all this while data and information were being gathered as evidence against the fact that Nigerian government are not doing anything about these issues. And even till now, they are all deflecting. I saw a video of some people who are protesting, and I was like, seriously, you guys saw the video of those people who are protesting there? It's just crazy. Like I said, leave your thought and opinion as always, and don't hesitate to like, subscribe, share, comment, and I shall see you all later in another video. Okay, bye.